Well, with all the disease fears out there, have you ever wondered what's really on Metro's handrails and escalators and other equipment?
Do you really want to know? Thousands of people touch them every day and, of course, leave behind millions of germs. Chris Van Cleve is on your side with the dirty details of what we discovered. Chris?
Well, today, here's some of what we found living on this Petri dish here. You know, it's one of the biggest questions that Metro riders have with the H1N1 fears hanging over all of us, wondering what's riding along with you when you get on the train. Now, Metro says they have a pretty robust cleaning program. Well, we put it to the test.
I just think it's nasty.
That's concern after 7 on Your Side finds indications something countless Metro riders sit on every day could make you sick. We're on germ patrol, seeing what's sharing the Metro system with more than 700,000 daily riders.
We're doing bacterial analysis on different types of surfaces.
Chris Blevins from Aerobiology Laboratory in Dulles collects the samples from 3 busy Metro stations and cars on the red, blue, and orange lines.
See what goes on that one?
The process is pretty simple. We take one of these swabs and we just press it up against the surface we want to test. You make sure you get both sides, and then we send it off to the lab. While crews disinfect all hand contact surfaces at Metro stations daily and the train cars weekly, with the threat of H1N1 hanging over them, many riders still worry.
I Purell before and after I get off the train. I try on the train not as much to touch the handrails.
I try not to hold the railing.
I'm going to do a little bit of the screen here.
On this ATM at Union Station, tests show a small amount of Staphylococcus aureus, a bacteria that can cause everything from minor skin infections to life-threatening diseases.
That's disgusting.
I'm not sure if we're cleaning that. I haven't been able to confirm that.
Most of the commonly touched surfaces like escalators, elevator buttons, seats, and handrails on the trains we tested showed very low levels of bacteria.
I was surprised how clean the handrails are.
Still, Aerobiology Lab Director Suzanne Blevins says our tests show there may be some problem spots.
So if I had a client sending in doing a building survey, I would say this is a dirty area. It does need to be cleaned.
She's talking about this bench Chris swabbed at Union Station. On it, more than double the bacteria than the sample taken from the grout between the floor tiles just a few feet away.
I'm nervous.
Among the bacteria present, some from the respiratory system. Harmless, but that would be a spot where really you could be at risk for picking up somebody else's cold, flu, whatever.
Possibly, certainly.
If somebody is sneezing and coughing and they have H1N1 that's living on that bench potentially.
That's true for a certain amount of hours, and that's true of the floor and everywhere else.
Joan LeLachour is Metro's leading germ fighter. She says benches are cleaned but are not disinfected like a handrail, even though our cameras found plenty of people using them.
We're just trying to keep the best we can up, and like I said, that's to me not a typical hand surface, but we'll look into it.
And we were not able to test directly for viruses like H1N1, but our results were better than most people expected. Metro said that they believe that they're proof that their cleaning program is working. And if you want to take a closer look at all of our results, we've put them online at WJLA.com, keyword Metro. And stick with ABC 7 News at 11. We take a look at what's in the air inside the Metro trains and in the Metro stations. We'll tell you what we found at 11. For now, we're live in Northwest Washington tonight. Chris Van Cleve, ABC 7 News.
All right, thank you, I think, Chris. All right. Also from 7 on
7's on your side tonight with some important information if you ride Metro.
Now, this evening at 5, we showed you how much bacteria that we found on surfaces on Metro rail trains.
Yep, new at 11. It's my line, isn't it? Chris Van Cleve tests the air we breathe while riding the rails, and you don't want to miss these results.
All this ick came from the air you breathe inside a Metro station. Among the bacteria growing here, some from people's respiratory tracts, which could be a sign there's something else in the air.
You may have increased potential for, exchange of respiratory infections.
Meaning the air could be exposing you to viruses like H1N1.
Just take it in there, sir.
7 on your sides on Germ Patrol, testing Metro stations and trains. Checking the air and surfaces you touch, handrails, escalators, seats, buttons.
It'll actually identify the organism down to the genus level, and we will give you all the counts.
That's your micrococcus. That's from the respiratory tract.
Aerobiology Labs in Dulles did the testing. Lab Director Suzanne Blevins says the results show often Metro's current disinfecting program appears to be working, but
they need to look in the non-obvious places and clean better.
Like this bench, it had a higher bacteria load than the grout on the floor just a few feet away. A small amount of staph bacteria that could make you sick was on this ATM at Union Station. And while Metro says the bacteria we found in the air was below proposed OSHA levels, that respiratory bacteria showed up in the air just about everywhere.
Kind of freaks me out a little bit. It's pretty nasty. I just think it's gross. I actually whipped out some hand sanitizer as you were talking to her.
Metro officials acknowledge when it comes to the air, there's only so much anyone can do.
The best thing you can do is ventilation, and we're very ventilated.
So while they work to keep the system clean, staying healthy may fall on you.
Cover your cough and sneeze. Wash your hands frequently. And really, if you're sick, stay home.
When asked about cleaning procedures for benches, Metro officials acknowledge they are not disinfected the same way, say, handrails are. But they do tell us that after our results, they're taking a closer look at how to clean benches. We have all of our results online at WJLA.com. I'm Chris Van Cleve, ABC 7 News.
Now, in addition to the test results, you can also find additional information on the types of bacteria that we found in our report. So log on to WJLA.com and click on the On Your Side section there.
And coming up on ABC 7 News at 11.
We continue our coverage of the breaking story coming out of Fort Hood, Texas, where at least 12 people are